Well, it has been a while. The commitment to a video a day, or no, not a video a day, a video a week. And even me saying 2 videos a week, unfortunately fell very, very short, as I'm now months later making a video. Yeah, man, I never, not that I never thought I'd be back on here, but I'm very blessed to have had a very busy summer and full of traveling and spending time with my family and people I love, so that's been great. My hiatus from YouTube probably started, I have to look back at when my last video was, but it definitely was in meet prep for nationals. Well, my camera fell over, so I had to restart, or not restart, but continue from where I left off. But yeah, I probably haven't been on here since like nationals prep. Yeah, that was quite the roller coaster. And first, before I even get into kind of like the video and everything, I just want to give a shout out to my boy Kelvin. Honestly, bro, if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't be making this video right now. It was cool to hear that you enjoyed the videos. Kelvin's a good friend of mine from high school, and I saw him at the gym here, and he just saw me and he was like, bro, what happened to the YouTube stuff? And I was like, you know what, bro, you're right. You're right. It was cool to hear that that's he was enjoying it, and yeah, man, I just shout out to you, because it meant a lot to me. So I did enjoy making the videos, but I just didn't know when I would be back to making it. But you telling me that made me want to get back to it quicker, right? Because it's been in the back of my mind, making videos and stuff. So yeah, bro. But anyways, to kind of go over what's been going on in my life the past couple of months. I had nationals prep. The prep itself was a roller coaster. From where I left off last, I probably was like mentioning that I had a little bit of like a back, my squat might be feeling kind of weird, my back's kind of sore. Nah, bro, you were injured and you didn't even know it. Well, I knew it, but I didn't want to accept it. I got a back injury like at the end of January, and I kind of pushed through it for 3 weeks thinking that it would just kind of go away, but it did get worse, and then we had to completely reapproach training to get myself healed. In hindsight, it would have been a great experience to document. I feel like it would have probably helped a lot of people who go through injuries in powerlifting. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it that much. It's like almost like a thing you don't want to talk about, but it's completely part of the sport. It's completely a part of the journey of strength training. When you're pushing your body to new levels and to new heights, to new strength gains, like injuries are almost always just a part of it. Some people I was very blessed. I didn't have to have an injury. I didn't sustain a real injury like that until, I would say that's 4 years into really training. Like, I've had small injuries here and there, but that injury was the first one where it like completely leached into my daily life. I couldn't bend over to tie my shoes. I couldn't put on my shoes or socks in the morning. Like, any sort of movement downwards was just terrible. It was very, very painful. But I was extremely aggressive with rehabbing myself and doing everything in my power to just get back to being healthy. It was a scary process. It wasn't a linear process. It's not like I got hurt and then I started fixing it all and it just like slowly got better. Like, no, like it would get better, then it would get worse again, then it would get better, then it would get worse again. You know, you would feel like you're moving 3 steps forward and then 5 steps back, and then you're back to where you started. So it's a wild ride. I spent so much of my energy just focused on that and on finishing my degree and finishing off school strong. It was, you know, looking back on it, it feels like it was so long ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. And yeah, like I was able to compete and I did my best. I came 10 kilos short of my best total, which, considering the circumstances that I was in, I can't complain, right? Obviously, I don't want to go to a meet and perform less than what I did in the previous competition, but it is what it is, you know. I had a pretty serious injury. You know, I still to this day don't know exactly what it was, but definitely based on what I did to diagnose it, along with help from my friends who Dawit, my friend Dawit works under a PT and was able to give me some help from his PT's advice, which was really awesome. You know, I probably had some sort of bulging or herniation in a disc in my lower back, and that was pushing against my sciatic nerve. So I would have like random intense sciatica throughout the day. It was super, super painful. Like, you know, I would be like just sitting in class, like dripping in sweat, and like my friend would look at me and be like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Dude, my back is screaming at me right now." And I'm just sitting, standing, laying down. Every position was uncomfortable. There was no comfort for 3 months of just like dealing with that. And the rehab was pretty uncomfortable too. So it was incredible. It was like a crazy ride, and the fact that I was even able to get on the platform and compete when like 3 weeks before the competition I could not squat or deadlift was just incredible. I give all the credit to my coach as well for like fully investing himself in trying to figure out what would work. You know, Evan took it very personally. I could tell he took it personally to try to help me, because he knew how much it meant to me to be able to perform at my best. And he did everything in his power, and I did everything in my power to get to 100%, and it worked. You know, it really worked. I came out of the meet, you know, with that minus 10 kilos on my total, and honestly it felt like it was pretty easy. So that was pretty great. And like now I've been able to train throughout this summer and like push some really high intensity lifts, and my body has felt like it can handle it. Sustaining an injury like that can be like pretty scary, because you don't like I haven't thought of it recently, but now that I'm talking about it, like I've realized it. Like when you get an injury like that, you're like really scared to push that RPE 10 or RPE 9, you know, because you're like, you might be thinking like, can my body even handle this, you know? But that's like soon after you're injured. After the competition, in my mind, I was healed already. So it was no effect in my training. Like I wasn't scared to get back in the gym and deadlift and squat. I knew that if I could compete, I was good to go and train. So I haven't really had like fear in really pushing anything in the gym, to be honest. I don't know if I've talked about this before. I think I have, but I have a very like short-term memory with lifting, where I like to create clean slates in my head and not carry too much baggage on previous training and stuff. Definitely learn from the stuff that you may have done wrong, but I try not to like hold on to these feelings for too long, because it can damage you, right? Because if I still feel like how I did when I was injured, I would be super scared to load certain weights and things like that. But no, I've been feeling good. This summer I spent 17 days in Colombia, like 10 days in Las Vegas. I've been traveling, but training as much as I can in between. And the traveling has been incredible. Like, I'm very fortunate that I can do that, and I'm very grateful that I've been able to experience, life outside of just this ordinary stuff of the day in and day out. I personally think it's super important to like pull back sometimes mentally. I'm always generally like, I'm always thinking about lifting. Like when I was in Colombia for 17 days, like after 3 days, I'm like, what am I doing, bro? I need to get into the gym, But the pullback of it mentally, of like this pressure that I put on myself to perform at the highest level I can at all the time, especially when there's competitions being involved, and you're facing, back-to-back meet preps, and like right after you finish a meet, you're signed up for the next one, you're already thinking about the next thing. It's great. It's a great pressure to put on yourself. It's what makes you be better. But mentally, for me, I think it's important that there's periods of time where you are not necessarily like pushing 100%. Even right now, right? So like I'm in the gym right now training. I'm not in meet prep. I'm pushing as hard as I can, don't get me wrong. I'm training as hard as I can. I'm doing everything. I'm on top of everything, right? I've been in a deficit throughout this summer as well. So I probably started at around like 189, and right now I'm 183. I've been sitting at 183 for a good bit of time now, so I need to turn it down a little bit more. But anyways, what I'm saying is, like, even when I'm in the gym right now, like, you need to preserve your tunnel vision, right? Because like it can be extremely exhausting to you to like be in the gym and like pushing as hard as you can every single time, up until a meet or something, or up until a certain time frame, right? Like it can be very exhausting. And then you kind of forget, like for me, for example, like I still train very hard. I still give it everything I have, whether my mind is in it or not. Like, it's gotten to the point where, with me, where it's like, it's not an emotional thing for me to get in the gym and give it my most effort. Like, it's just what I do at this point. So it's like, I don't have to like super lock in my brain to do it, because like, that's just the way I train now. But when you do give it that like mental push for a really long time, and you're like really in that tunnel, like it's important to take a step back, because you will feel re-energized when you need to get there again in the next competition, next meet. It's okay to cruise, like it's not okay to in my opinion, it's not okay to just get in the gym and like if you're a performance athlete training for powerlifting or bodybuilding, like it's not okay for you to go in and like kind of half-ass your movements, know that you probably could have pushed a set harder, and walk out of the gym and be like skipping certain certain exercises, you know. I don't think that's ever okay. You know, in every situation there's exceptions, you know, certain life circumstances, but I'm talking in general, you know, like if you are crossing, I don't know how to say it. If you're crossing all your T's and dotting all your I's, you're getting in the gym and completing the workouts that you have planned at the actual intensity that it needs to be, then it's okay for you to kind of mentally back off and not be in there like I'm in Olympia prep, you know, because that, you know, something that I've learned from a lot of bodybuilders I like to watch is that, you know, they have these heavy off seasons to kind of, they have these long off seasons to back off of things mentally, you know, because it's very taxing. It's very, very taxing. I saw it this summer as a time to kind of like have a refreshing start to my future, which I'll get into talking about. But you know, like I will be moving soon to Sarasota and starting a new job. It's this brand new chapter of my life I'm very excited for. And like, I don't need to be like, I didn't feel the need to be in like a meet prep. I don't want to be in a meet prep right now. I don't want to be thinking about a competition. Like, I want to do what I love to do, and that's to get in the gym and just train and still make great progress, you know? So yeah, I guess that's really all I wanted to talk about. Yeah, like, I don't know when I'm gonna compete again. Maybe I'm thinking I'll probably compete in November. But I just, you know, I'm keeping an open eye to every competition. You know, I'm like just very open to anything right now. I'm in the gym to train, give it my all every time I'm in here, because I'm fortunate that I can basically just have it as a priority in my life right now, to just, all I gotta worry about is training. But that's not gonna last very long. Soon I'll be working and starting real life. Yeah, I'm very excited for that. I'm excited to move to a new area, be a little bit closer to home than Tallahassee for sure. Be closer to home. It's nicer for me. You know, see how training will go at that point. And yeah, like, you know, overall, there's not been too much to say on here, other than I've just been doing what I've been doing, is just training, when, you know, consistently still training. The biggest break I took from training, even with all the traveling, was I think 5 days. I literally think it was only 5 days, which is so wild, because I was in Colombia for 17 days, but I was able to in one of the places I was in Colombia, there was a gym, and I was there for 4 days, so I trained every day for 4 days there. It was something like that, either 4 or 5 days. So yeah, I think even then it was maybe like 5 or 6 days that I went without training. And my body honestly needed it. Like, you know, your body comes back into the gym like feeling so good. Like when you train really hard and like you're literally like going to maximum intensity that you can handle, like on accessories and such. But then, you know, obviously powerlifting training is different, but I guess I'm really talking about like the accessory stuff, the bodybuilding movements. Like, you kind of like forget really how much you're damaging your body. And I've actually seen even like some of these like top level Olympia guys will take like just 2 weeks of like no high intensity training, like just none, like no training at all, like just zilch, nothing. And I'm like, you know what, like that, if they're doing it, you know, obviously I'm not an Olympia level athlete. I'm not saying that. But there's something to that aspect of like just letting your body completely reset itself, you know, like your joints. I think that's the big thing for me, is like my joints really felt a lot better after that. I felt like reset. You know, now that I've been training again consistently pretty hard, like I could feel my joints again, like having that achiness and like sensitivity. But yeah. We'll see when the next video is, but this is already 19 minutes. That's crazy. Again, thank you, Kelvin, for saying what's up to me at the gym and letting me know that you like these videos. If you're watching this, bro, you're the best. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.